Impulsive force is the topic that we are going to study today, and it is given by the force which acts on the bodies for a short time period. The force which is applied for smaller time period only or for the impulse only is known as impulsive force. For example, when a batter hits a ball, the ball is in contact with the bat for a very small time period. So the force applied by the bat on the ball is known as impulsive force because it is applied for a very small time period. Similarly, the collision of two billiard balls, the balls they collide along with each other for a very small time period. After that, they separate. So that's also an example of impulsive force. Firing of a gun, the gun when it is fired, the bullet is in contact with the gun for a very small time period. So the force which is applied on the bullet by the gun is again an example of impulsive force. The hammer hitting the nail, you must have seen that there are a lot more examples of these as well. Impulsive force, but just take it as a method of knowing the impulsive force, that whenever the force is applied for a very small time period, okay, and when it goes from 0 to highest and then comes to 0 again, the force value in that small time period, then it will be an impulsive force. So here I am telling you the impulsive force with respect to the graph. The y-axis is representing force and the x-axis is representing time period. Now at any time t, the force was 0 and it reached to the peak value, and then it came to the rest in certain time t2, say here it is t1, it reached over here at t2. T2 minus T1 is, say, this is del T. In this del T time period, this value of force, it went from 0 to maximum and then came back to 0 again. Such kind of force is known as impulsive force. While hitting a bat, a ball experiences same kind of force. When it is just in contact with the bat, it is having 0 force applied by the bat. For a particular time period, it achieves the maximum force, and then when it leaves the bat, it again experiences 0 force by the bat. So in such diagram, in such graph, we can show what is impulsive force. Now how to calculate this impulsive force? It comes from the definition itself. What we have told in the definition is the force applied for this whole time period is impulsive force. We'll be using Newton's second law to know the impulse and to calculate it. As per Newton's second law, we know that F is equal to dP by dt. Now when the force is applied for small time period, this become impulse, and impulse is denoted by I. So F dot dt, I'll write it I, which is equal to dP, or change in momentum. I'll write it over here, change in momentum. So this is again another definition of impulse. What was impulse? Impulse was force applied for this small time period. Now it can also be termed as change in momentum. Impulse is the change of momentum. Okay. Now comes the examples of impulse momentum relationship. There are certain examples. Some of the examples are the cricket players, lower their hand, while catching a ball. Okay, and the reason behind lowering their hands is they increase the time period. When they increase the time period, okay, so what happens? They actually, if the momentum remains constant or conserved, they decrease the amount of force. See, F dot dt is dp. If this dt, if we keep this change in momentum constant, let us say this be constant value, then if one of the term is decreased, another value will increase, and if one will increase, another will decrease as well. Say this value of dp comes out to be 8, and this change is constant. Change of momentum is constant, 8 always. Now if time period it is increased, let's say 4 2s are 8, if we increase the time period to 4, the force will automatically decrease to 2, but it will have a certain relation that it will always have a constant value. Okay, so by lowering the hands, what they do, they increase the time period and ultimately decrease the amount of force, and they easily catch the ball. A person is better of falling on the sand than on a concrete floor. While falling on the sand, what happens? The time period of impact increases, and if we'll fall on the concrete, the time period of impact will decrease, and ultimately the force will decrease while falling on the sand. So it's better off falling on the sand than on concrete floor. Third point, China wares are wrapped in paper or straws. Before packing. Before packing them, they are wrapped in, or the glassware, they are always wrapped in paper or straws. So while they are wrapped in paper or straws, what happens? The collision time period increases. If there will be paper or straws between two glass items, so what will happen? Before them to collide, it will have to counter the paper or straws, and it will increase the time period of impact for them to collide. And that's how these glass items or China wares, they are protected, because it increases the time period and ultimately it decreases the force which is applied to them. Okay, so that's that makes them safe. So this is how the impulsive force is used in different items. So we will be ending the lecture over here. And then next, when we'll meet, we'll be discussing about Newton's third law of motion, and we'll be discussing about the application of Newton's third law. That's it for today. Okay, meet you in the next lecture.